Okay, so welcome. This is class number 2 of the 8-week drawing series, and we are going to be drawing Metatron's cube today, which is really, it's a crowd pleaser, it's an activator, it's fundamental to understanding geometry. We have about half the folks on the call today were from a previous 8-module course, and for some terrible twist of fate, our Metatron's cube class got completely fried by technology. I tried everything and they hung in there for about a half an hour and we just couldn't make it work. And I thought, oh, well, that'll be okay. The entire course was so strongly influenced because Metatron is so fundamental. We're going to learn about the geometry of space-time. We're going to learn about the Platonic solids, and these things are woven throughout all the geometries. So I am so excited that everyone is back here. I'm going to make a special shout out to James because I know that he would be here otherwise. He was from the Portland Community College class. So let's do this because it is a shared field. Let's just have a little check-in, say your name, if you've drawn any geometry between last week and now, or between last month and now, or if there's anything you'd like to share geometry related, keeping it kind of brief, but also enough to connect. And then we'll get into the information and then we'll get into drawing. All right. And obviously, if you have any questions, just jump right in. Anybody want to start us off? No pressure.
Okay, so I finished our homework.
Okay, great. Here, hang on, let me spotlight you. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
Woo! All right.
Hey, and you know, when I was 10, for Christmas I received the spirograph, you know, the one that we had back when we were kids and stuff. And I remember that was one of my favorite gifts I ever received. And I had a lot of, a lot of gifts and things like that over the years, but that one just meant so much to me. And I remember I would just spend hours with the wheels drawing all of these different pieces, and it's just as fascinating now as it was when I was a kid. So I love that we found out about this class. If it hadn't been for viola, I wouldn't have known. So thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, now you don't need all those little plastic bits, right? You've got it right in front of you, and hopefully a little bit more accessible. That was beautiful. I'm so glad you finished it. Lovely. Yeah. Okay. Who'd like to go next? Welcome, Dana, and welcome, Nancy. Sorry, you guys hop in at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go.
Okay, great.
I love this. I love this so much. I did everything again because great. It's so much fun. Yeah. So I'll show you my sunflower.
Woo! Look at that beauty. Ah, love it. Yeah.
And I have to say that I practiced it more than once so that I could actually get it to go into the very center point for all of them. So that was really cool. And I did the same one Terry did. I did it twice, and oh my gosh, I love this one. I'm dreaming about this thing. It is really, really cool. So I can't wait to see what we're doing tonight.
Oh, cool. Oh, fun. So I love it. You're dreaming about it. That's next level. Oh, wonderful. Cool. Thanks, Nancy. Very exciting. All right. Let's see. Who's going to go next? All righty.
I can go.
Cool. Dana?
I didn't get to a lot of as much as I would have liked to this week. It was just kind of busy, and I've been suffering from a really bad migraine. But I'm here today, barely. And this is what I did. Finish that class.
Yeah, look at that.
That was so fun. And then my daughter came over and she saw it. She said, "Oh, I love that. I want to learn how to do that too." So but I did set this on my watch. I was looking at different watch faces. I don't know if you
can hang on a second. Let me get back. Wait, hang on. Let me spotlight you again.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let's see if it's doing it.
Oh my gosh.
See, I'm shaking in the medicine. Sorry.
Oh, that makes time. All right.
That's the Apple Watch face. That is a new thing that you can, you can download different faces. And so there's other sacred geometry type options. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So every time I look at my watch, now I'm reminded about the class in sacred geometry. So yes, I love it. And I'm so excited to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Oh, spectacular. It's great having you here. And isn't that fun when you just start seeing it everywhere and it's like, ooh, we're connecting the dots, and it just dissolves that
Yes.
separation. That even softens the construct of time. That's a bonus.
Oh, interesting. I like that. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah, the construct of time. And you know what? I really appreciated you bringing up Spirit Science's videos. I used to watch them like years ago, and I hadn't seen them lately, and I love them. And he has so many new ones that are fabulous.
Doesn't he? Yeah.
And so, yeah. And then I watched, he has a newer one about sacred geometry. I think it's maybe where you got your snippet from, but because I had seen the old one from 11 years ago, but so. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, he's got like 60 or 70 videos now. I mean, it's been over a decade that he's doing that.
Yes.
So cool. I love that resource. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, thanks for making the effort, even with a migraine. We'll just send you all sorts of good juju, and if you need to bow out, there's the recording. So glad to see you. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Great. All right.
I guess I'll go.
All right, Carol. Hi.
Oh,
sorry,
go ahead, Carol.
Christine. Sorry, was that Christine? I didn't miss it. Okay. We're all gonna go. So Carol, you're off mute. Why don't you go for it? All right, and then Christine will come up to you. Sorry.
Okay.
Was that?
Well, sorry, Christine.
Yeah.
So I had intended to, I finished this the last time, and I had intended to redo it using my new compass, and I lost a screw on the little.
Was that me? Nope, that was Carol. Okay.
And then I was out of town. I was in New Mexico visiting my family, and I just got back like 45 minutes ago. So I'm a little bit tired. I drove, and I got another compass. I'm hoping it's going to work today.
Let me see. Ooh, yeah, that's
it takes pencils.
Wow.
So I'm back to starting. I'm excited to start again.
All right.
I absolutely loved it, but I'm tired, and I'm also excited at the same time, and eager to learn more. Thank you.
Right. Awesome. Wow, that's just under the wire. I'm so glad you made it.
Yeah, I made sure that I got back in time for class.
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad. That is a hardcore compass. That is like, we're going to get the job done with that thing.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not messing up this time. No messing around. Thanks.
Okay, I'm excited. All right, thanks, Carol. So was that, Christine, was that you jumping in? I really just got mixed up. Okay, yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. So I have been traveling, and I'm in a temporary location right now. And I completely forgot that this makeup class was happening until like 5:52 when I turned on my computer and I saw it. So I was really excited. I got to be here. And I thought I would share this because we were just talking about compasses. I have this super fancy compass, but why I have it, I have this whole set.
Oh my gosh.
And it was my grandfather's.
Can you hold it up another time?
Yeah. It was my grandfather's from early in his life when he was an architect.
Oh, wow.
And I've had it for some reason ever since. I've just never been able to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
awesome.
That's kind of
fun. I love it. So he's like, he's coming in through the compass and you've got him with you. That's and the purple velvets. Yes.
I know, right? And all these things, I don't even know what all those things in there are for, but there's a compass. There's two that I use.
Cool. And you were, okay, so let me just make sure. Christine, Darlene, and then Gina were from the Sacred Geometry from the Portland Community College, right? Is that true? Did I get that right? Okay, thank God. Okay, Christine, awesome to see you again. Glad you made it. Glad we caught you last minute, and good to see you. Okay, so we've got a few more. We've got Sawa and Gina and Darlene.
Oh, I'll step up.
All right.
I'm on the unproductive side. I've But you've slowed down everything in my life because I have to look at it to see if there's anything in it. And the flowers are blooming now, and so I have to analyze all of it.
Yeah.
So that's okay. It's everywhere, as you say.
Well, and just that you're seeing it and like making those connections, Darlene, it's so great. And I don't believe you actually that you're going slow. I know that you're doing lots and lots of things, even if you're
2 other weaving classes.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Online classes have ruined my life. You can just stay home. You know, the politicians can do anything they want, but do not take away my Zoom classes, or there will be hell to play.
All right, Darlene's back in the house. So good to see you. All right. Okay, so Gina, Nancy, did you go? I don't think so. Let's see. All right. Oh, you did. Okay, great. Sorry. All right. Who's jumping in now? Gina.
I will.
All right.
So I love how it all kind of connects together because I bought the little cheap compass, and you're right, this little $2.95 one works way better than my other one. So I invested big, but I also I got this really cool art media paper that's black.
Yeah.
A whole nother opportunity. The pencil still works on it, and then you can do like, I haven't even figured out all that I can do on it yet, but something different, something fun. So this class has really stuck with me. I plan on doing it. And I just wanted to show, I went out and bought this. My class already knew this, but I actually just for nostalgia, after the very first class, I ordered this off of Amazon, and it's definitely not exactly the same, but it's very fun and it's super quick to draw. Some of the things really, it's fun.
Cool.
So I think that's it for me, but I just plan on definitely doing this beyond the class for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. You know, I think that a while back when I started up, you know, a couple years ago, I got a spirograph too, and I got so frustrated because I would draw something cool and I couldn't remember which little hole I'd put it in or which little plastic piece. So I was like, I'm going back to my compass. I'm solid. But it is so cool, the designs that it makes. So that's totally fun. All right. And that little, okay, Gina, real quick. That little compass, these things serve you well. If for some reason the little clip gets loose, just rubber band it, right? Just rubber band it on the top and the bottom. That's like kind of the only thing that usually happens, just so you have that. And then you look really cool, like you have art supplies that are used. So
cool. Well, I'm really, I love her ones from Grandpa. That's really special. That sounds very, very meant to be.
Yeah. Genetic line of compasses and drawing. Yeah. All right. Okay. So then Sawa.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. I practice like every shape about 3 times.
Right.
I love everything, but I just realize this last you know, it triggered something in me, my memory. I saw this when I was little. Every time I go to sleep, this was like I was looking at the ceiling in the dark. This was in the ceiling, and I would be watching as a child.
Wow.
It was very bright color, like not black and white like this, but like a rainbow, like a I don't know, the multicolor, beautiful. And as a child, I remember, wow, that's so beautiful. I wonder what that is. I just remember this. Wow, as I was drawing, I said, I've seen this before. So I thought it was very cool. But yes. And also, first time when I introduced myself, I said I live in North Carolina. I'm sorry, I just recently moved to Virginia. I don't know why I said I'm North Carolina. Okay, it doesn't matter, but I just wanted to correct.
Just have to get that on the record. All right.
Yes. So, but yes, I'm very enjoying this and exciting to today's class. Thank you.
Yeah, that was it like 3D in the corner? Like, oh,
yes.
Wow. That's
but
awesome.
I remember color vividly. That was because it was so beautiful. I don't think I can replicate. If somebody asked me to, I cannot describe, because I was a child too. So, but it was beautiful. I was always like, every night I was watching it, and then I kind of fall asleep. That was, yeah. So, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot of exploration. Did you ever have any kind of insight about this magical geometric shape in your bedroom as a kid? That's so great.
I have no idea, because I never questioned. I don't know. It was just, wow, beautiful. I just wonder what that is. That was it, and never really explore or investigate. Then as I grow up, I totally forgot and I stopped seeing it. And so, but that was very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I imagine, since it's come back into your consciousness, and since it was there to begin with, I imagine that you could perhaps strike up a conversation and see if you could reclaim, recall, remember any reason why that might have been there. You know, that seems really special. That's awesome.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Well,
Thanks for leading the way for like the psychic channel opening, you know, because that is such a great example of how, you know, geometry is non-local, right? It's not limited to our watch pieces, you know, or time. So you can vision it, you can imagine it, you can dream about it, you know, you can set a lot of intention, and this stuff moves in all the worlds, right? It's not just limited to these 2D drawings, and it's, you know, really popping into life as much as we would like it to be, as much as we welcome it to be. So okay, so onward to Metatron's cube, unless there's anything else. It seems like we're rock solid to go. Okay. I'm recording. Okay, great. So I guess I feel like I'm forgetting something. It will arise. Yeah. Okay, here we go. We'll jump in. I know I'm forgetting something. It's a little bit strange. So, okay. So Metatron's cube, right? This is the shape. And it looks very complex, and yet it's very doable, right? Very digestible. I will break it down step by step, and you'll walk out of here with this thing just feeling amazed that you were able to do this, right? And then you can take pictures of it. You can show it off to everybody. Metatron's cube, I think, is just one of the coolest. And I think maybe it was this. Let me go out really quick. I'm going to show you about the shapes. I'm going to show you about why it's called Metatrons. I'm going to show you a lot of the different fascinating parts of it. And what I want to add, and that I will, you know, augment at the end, is it's been 8 years since I've been teaching this, right? I have like a great relationship with Metatron, and it just continues to deepen, right? I met up with this woman, and she's all about channeling Archangel Metatron and channeling Metatron consciousness, right? Larger than Archangel. This is large, large stuff. And I will get into this. But recently, I have just really, Metatron has become my default. Like whenever I need help, I'm just calling on Metatron, and it's just being woven into my reality more and more. And I love it. I just love it. I feel like I have such an ally that's available to me. And so just wanted to add that before we get into this. All right, here we go. So Metatron's cube. Okay, so we drew the seed of life. And then a lot of the folks that were in the PCC class have gone through all of this sequence. They've drawn the full flower of life. And then we all in this new series will do that. But we drew the seed of life, yes, the other day. And then that turns into the fruit of life, which is, the egg of life, which is the three-dimensional there's 8 circles at that point. And then it turns into the flower of life. So there's the seed, the fruit, the egg, the flower. and the tree, all of these things that come from the seed. And you'll see throughout the class, we could get testimonials from everyone who went through the 8-week, that everything comes from the seed. It's so amazing. So all of these different things are, all of these different variations are called the flower of life, right? So you've got 2 rings of, you've got the seed of life, and then another ring around it that is called the flower. Then you've got one expression that has an enclosed membrane on it. We'll go into all of this more in the flower of life class. But then you've got the full expression, which is the seed of life plus 4 rings of circles, right? And this membrane here cuts that off. We don't get to see the full, all of the rings and the full expression. And we need the full expression because you can trace down around here. Once you have all 4 rings of circles, you can get the 13 circles that make Metatron's cube, right? You've got to open this up. You've got to have all 4 rings in order to get this foundation for Metatron's cube. And then you'll see every single shape fits into those 13 circles in one arrangement or another, right? And what this is going to create, the reason, well, one of the reasons that Metatron's cube is so important is because it contains what are called the platonic solids, right? These 5 shapes down here, and they look like this. So there are 5 shapes, and these are the only 5 shapes in the universe that adhere to 3 criteria, right? So the first one, let me say the 3 criteria first. The 3 criteria are that every single shape, every face of the shape is the same, right? So these are all triangles, these are all triangles, these are all squares, and these are all pentagons, right? Same face all around the shape. And then the second criteria is, you can see down below here, the inner angles of the shapes, right? In the triangles, it's always 60 in these equilateral triangles. In the cube, it's 90 on each angle. The inner angles have to be the same, right? All inner angles. Here on the pentagon, every angle is 108. So every single angle in the shape, the inner angle is the same. And then the last criteria is that if you put them in a circle, right? Let me come back out here real quick. If you put them in a circle, the shapes will touch equidistantly in the circle. There'll be equal segments of line segments between them that touch the circle. So those are the 3 criteria, and they're the only shapes that really adhere to those criteria. So these 5 shapes represent the 5 elements, right? And most of us only learned about 4, right? So this helps us access the 5th element, which is ether. Okay, so we'll start with the tetrahedron on the far left here, and it represents the element of fire, right? And then just moving over, the octahedron represents the element of air, and the hexahedron, which is always also called the cube, represents the element of earth. The icosahedron represents the element of water, and the dodecahedron represents the element of ether. And that's the big deal, right? Drawing the cube, remember, just like the seed, we're drawing the 2D, but it's really mirroring our biology. And here is this whole, relationship in our 3D activating all of our cellular structure. It's the same thing with Metatron's cube. When you're drawing this, you are connecting your psyche to all of the elements. So we get earth, air, fire, water, but we get to tap into ether. And that was left out for a lot of us. And that is hugely empowering, right? The element of ether, of prana, of chi, of tachyon energy, space, all of it. We were cut off from this absolutely liberating energy, right? One thing I want to show you, which is really fun, and it's just kind of next level. We're not going to go into it, but it just sort of hints. Do you remember with the phi, like this amazing, like the larger orchestration of like, oh, wow, what's happening with those numbers, right? So you can see, where is it? Over here, we look at the octahedron and the hexahedron, octahedron and cube, right? So if you look at the faces and the points and the edges down here, right? Each face, point, and edge of each shape. So in the octahedron, we've got, where is it? 8 faces and 12 edges and 6 points, right? Then look over here at the cube. It's 6 faces, 8 points, and 12 edges. There's just definitely some interesting parallel here with these aspects of the geometries. And then if you look over at the icosahedron and the dodecahedron, we've got on the icosahedron 20 faces, 12 points, 30 edges, and you flip it, right? 12 faces, 20 points, 30 edges again. Now there's something, it's starting to go like, ooh, something cool is happening here. We don't quite know what yet, but definitely hinting at incredible orchestration. And down here, these degrees, 720, 1440, 2160, we're going to look at all of this stuff. It is all, every single ounce of it, symbolically significant, right? Fascinating stuff. So we've got the blue here, the icosahedron, the representative of water, octahedron here in the yellow, that's the 8-sided shape, the tetrahedron, fire, 4-sided shape, hexahedron, cube, 6-sided, and then the dodecahedron for ether, 12-sided, right? And the 6-sided for the cube up there. Okay. And the really cool thing is they all nest within each other, right? Like, well, there's so many cool things, but these shapes have a relationships. They're all in Metatron's cube, and you're going to see how they pack, and you'll be able to draw them separately if you'd like, but we're going to have them mashed up together to see how they relate to one another. And these things are snuck into our psyche everywhere, right? If you ever had a kid that played Dungeons and Dragons, or if you played Dungeons and Dragons, these are the platonic solid shapes of the dice, right? Like these kids are getting this into their, the constructs very, very early on, but nobody's sitting there saying, hey, these are the platonic structures of the fundamental structure of the universe, but they're in here. Right, they're everywhere. And part of the class is to just start bringing those, bringing your awareness to how it is everywhere, right? Here's the media. I don't know if anyone saw, this is the movie Contact. It was like, I don't know, like late 1990s, Jodie Foster. And, they receive these, audio signals, radio signals from space. They start to decode them, and it ends up building this. This is a time travel pod, right? And this circle in the center, the sphere, is the pod part. But look at that. It's held by a dodecahedron. Like, that's a little bit interesting. Hey, I wonder why. It's like disclosure in the media, right? Now, this I found the other day. This is really cool. And I wouldn't have put it in but for the fact that it was from the Resonance Science Foundation and Nassim Haramein, who I really absolutely trust with everything in terms of when it comes to science and geometry and the structure of space-time. And so I just found this fascinating. Here is a picture of a molecule and the bonds that exist between atoms. And lo and behold, it looks like the 13 circles of Metatron's cube, right? So just fundamental building blocks, geometric structure on all scales. And I just like to give example after example of where you see the geometry, right? So you can see Metatron's cube finely outlined, right? And then here's how the solids fit into it, right? So you've got the tetrahedron up here on the left, that upward facing triangle, and you've got the cube, and we're going to draw all of these, cube in the center here. On the top right, this is the icosahedron. That's the 20-sided shape for water. And then over here is the octahedron, the 8-sided geometry. It represents air, I think. Yeah. And then the dodecahedron, which is super fantastic magical powers. We'll talk about that in a minute. But here's the fun part. The tetrahedron, you can invert that tetrahedron so you get 2 of them, one on top of each other, one pointing down, one pointing up, and you get the star tetrahedron, right? And the significance of this, as Terry is shaking her head, she knows very well, is that this is our Merkaba. This is the geometry of our light body. if we could drop our spacesuits, if we could, you know, shed our fleshy bodies, we have a geometric structure, right? And there's ways of activating this. There's ways of, I think I have these out of order, spinning the geometries, right? Spinning the bottom tetrahedron, spinning the top one, counter rotating each other and generating a charge, right? There's practices that you can do to, you know, technically advanced civilizations know how to do this with their own system, and they know how to travel the universe. This is our own spaceship, so to speak. And, you know, beings know how to transform themselves, transmute their material body into an energy body. And when you see orbs, some of those orbs are, you know, light bodies, light beings that have learned to travel and are just popping in to say hi. Maybe fairies, we don't know the extent, but Metatron's cube contains our Merkaba. It contains the image of our light body. So as you are drawing this, right, as you're working with these shapes, you're activating this aspect of yourself. And mind you, we're really cut off, so it's super subtle. But somewhere in your psyche, you're registering that you understand this aspect of yourself. You are expanding your consciousness into knowing yourself as a light body, knowing yourself as a light being, knowing yourself as multidimensional, far more than what this 3D experience has to offer, right? And we can draw it, you can activate it by being in your heart. There's all sorts of ways to be connecting to this geometry for yourself, which then really can take you off planet. So they've come on planet to remind us, right? They leave these magical little imprints here of the geometries in the crops in the field. And we're officially into crop circle season. We've had 3 already. It's very exciting. But this, you know, one of the main ones, this was in 2017. And all of the geometries, you know, this is Metatron's cube without the circles. And they're trying to give us a hint, right? I say that every time. But this is a very alive geometry, right? This isn't just stagnant 2D. This is spinning. The geometries are alive. They're here to help activate us. They're bringing online the different elements in the 95% of the subconscious reality that governs our 3D consciousness, you know? So really, again, you know, with all of the other geometries, I've talked about, let me just come out really quick. I've talked about how this is a reclaiming, right? So when we're drawing, we've got this, you know, our visual field is registering it, but our energy field is just rejoicing because somewhere we are communicating that we understand how much more we are, right? So that's part of what the geometry is doing. And then why is it called Metatron, right? So Metatron, this is, I love this image. It doesn't look like one way or another. This is just a fun way of encapsulating, you know, the sort of higher elements of Metatron. And I think I'm just going to come out. No, we'll just stare at that. So Metatron, no, I want to talk to you guys. Because this is the part that's really gotten large in my life. So Metatron is one of 2 archangels that had a physical incarnation. And the other one, I always forget the other one, but the incarnations of Metatron were known as Thoth and Enoch and Hermes Trismegistus, right? These were heavy hitters in the world of taking notes and recording human history. Right? These were the scribes. These were the large scale carriers of wisdom, right? And then they ascended and they just expanded their capacities and became the keepers of the Akashic records, right? So when you're working with Metatron consciousness, you are tapping into the Akashic records, right? The records of everything that will be, ever has been, and ever is. It's like everything is the Akashic record. And so you're working with Metatron, you are tapping into 5 elements within your system. You are on some levels very subtly activating your light body, and you are tapping into the Akashic records, right? This is really big stuff. And all of that is to say, you know, it looks like we're just drawing this 2D shape, but really we are bringing so much online. And so it's fabulous meditation. And I just love for you to, when we've got the 2D, I'll try to remind us to take a breath and connect with the all that is, but that's really what's going on. So one last piece, we've got, I'm going so fast right now. We've got the idea that our light body and our star tetrahedron and our Merkaba are within us, right? And that these geometries are 3-dimensional, but we're really going to draw the 2D version, which just, it's the only part that we see right now. But if you were to broaden it out, it's a 3D version, but it's also multi-dimensional, right? So this information comes from Nassim Haramein and the Resonance Science Foundation, and they have come to, discover, actually, Buckminster Fuller back in I believe the 50s, maybe a little earlier, gave the structure of space-time geometry, right? And so he's really one of the founding fathers of sacred geometry and of the understanding that there is structure, right? That we could harness it. And if you were to, somehow, if you had a magical trash compactor and you could condense the energy of our entire universe, right? If you could concentrate that down into a cubic centimeter of space, right? Like the size of a sugar cube, right? Like super, super concentrated and dense, which makes it very, very powerful. You would have 10 to the 55th power. Like, we can't even imagine this, right? This is the amount of energy that sorry, back up. That's 10 to the 93rd, right? Am I backing that up? No, it's the entire universe. See, it doesn't make sense. My apologies. Density of the entire universe, 10 to the 55th, right? Numbers we can't comprehend. But then if you were to just measure in a cubic square inch of space, right? Like, what I'm saying here is the entire universe compact into a cubic centimeter of space has 10 to the 55th power, right? Like a source of power that could sustain a civilization for infinite amount of time, right? So that's the entire universe. But just standing alone without doing anything to it, a cubic centimeter of space has 10 to the 93rd amount power of energy, right? The reason that's important, we don't have to think too much about it. The reason it's important is because when you begin to use geometry to harness space-time, if space has a geometry and you can learn to harness it, it can give us a source of infinite energy that would completely revolutionize our civilization, right? No more scarcity of resources, no more fighting each other, absolute abundance, absolute unity consciousness. And that's part of why this information has been suppressed, right? Liberation within ourselves. We get going on our Merkaba, we can travel the universe. We have very advanced esoteric knowledge. And then information on how to harness space-time and change our reality into infinite abundance, right? So this is the stuff of mystery schools, the dodecahedron in particular. In fact, we're going to have our own class on that shape because it was so top secret, because that's the shape of ether. It's the shape of prana, energy. It is the shape of our liberation. So it's esoteric, but it's all in Metatron's cube, right? And like, if you do nothing else, but at some point when you're drawing the shape and you go, oh, I know this means a lot more. There's a lot going on. You're bridging the gap between your subconscious and your conscious mind. And there is an empowerment that's happening. You can open doors of opportunity that come from connecting with this geometry in your field, right? It's very subliminal. It's very powerful. And it's really fun to draw. I think we're there. Let me check. I might have shortchanged this. All right, space, lots of zeros, right? These things are alive, super fun. I just think I have one more slide. And then this is it. Okay, there we go. There's that one. What I'm gonna do here, I'm so sorry to do this. I don't usually do this. I need a little bio break. I'm just gonna take 2 seconds. If you need one, please do as well. Otherwise, papers out, pencils out, compasses out, and we'll get going right away. I'm going to pause it and I'm going to remember to record it again. Here we go. Right. Okay, awesome. So any thoughts, questions, or reflections before we get into drawing? Did it make sense in the big picture, what it is? Okay, cool. Fabulous. I saw some heads, saw some heads, nodding around the Merkaba and some familiar shapes. So that's always great. Now, when you're in the New Age shop, you can drop a little bit of like, yeah, drawing the Platonic solids, or something really fun. All right. Okay, so we'll jump in. Great. Terry, are you with us? You're not fully on your screen. Are you there? Don't want to start without anybody. Just gonna do this. Okay, so make sure Terry's here. Yes, 1 inch. All right, is she back? Okay, there you are. Okay, so we're doing landscape orientation on the paper, and then we're doing 1 inch 1 inch radius. So you're going to measure 1 inch width on your compass. And with this one, let's go ahead and measure to the center of your page. So that's 7 inches in on the horizon, right? 7 inches in, and then 5.5 inches on the vertical. And I used to just say eyeball it, but sometimes the shape goes off the paper when you eyeball it. And at the same time, we still get the shape, even if it goes off the paper a little bit. But I want to try to get everybody on the page. So not sure why I'm so pressured. I feel really fast paced. I think I just want to get everything in. So let me know when we've got the center and you've got your compass to 1 inch. So we'll have 1 inch radius, and then we'll have a 2 inch diameter circle. And that's about as big as we can go and still stay on the page. So just to prepare you, you might go a little bit off, but I think we should stay on. And then once you've got that, we're just going in for a seed, just starting in with the seed of life, first circle, and then keeping a vertical orientation, which means that you put your second compass point at the bottom. Okay. Right. Everybody is professional now, unless you need another, let me see. All right, I don't think I put the whole. So we want it to look like this, right? So that vertical orientation, so that the petals in the center are pointing up and down. No. All right. Yep, heads down. That's what I get. All right, Christine's camera is helping me a little bit. I can see the compass moving. Otherwise, I do miss that. I taught a class in person recently. Oh God, it was so wonderful. Can't remember what we drew, but just to be able to bop around and see everybody. So, all right. How's it going? Does anybody need a refresher with the seed progression? Looking all right? Second compass point goes at the bottom, vertical, and then the circles are just creating each intersection point, and that's where the compass point goes. Yeah. I love that every single shape, once you've got the seed of life down, that's it. That's what starts us off for every shape. So that predictability, just so comforting. Yeah. Darlene, absolute professional by now. So fun. And part of why it works, you've all heard me say this, part of why it works to teach this class is because this really is a tool of meditation at its core, right? So if you get to the seed, if you get here, and we're waiting for everyone to be on the same page, take a breath with it, right? Give yourself an opportunity to go into those other levels. And even if we don't register it cognitively, you could set a little intention of, I'm connecting with the other parts of me. I'm connecting with the invisible parts of me. Or, if you wanted to set an intention for Metatron's cube as we draw it and you get to the seed, always a fun thing to do is to set, some sort of attention for the shape. Anything you're wanting to build bigger in your life, anything you're wanting to feel more of. Just taking the opportunity when you're in that, you've got that beautiful harmonic shape in front of you, then, just line yourself up with harmony. That's what we're doing. Just connecting with the underlying harmony of this reality. It's very, very available. It usually requires breathing and focus of some kind.
I finally got a good one. I seem to always been off, and I finally got one I'm happy with.
Woohoo! Excellent.
Yeah.
No triangles? Like none of the little triangles that are created when the circles. Yeah, no triangles. All right. Great. I love the no triangles, but I also love the opportunity to embrace the triangles. Perfectly imperfect, right? Last week was our first class of the new series. And so we talked about, the critical voice that comes up and all of the opportunities to reprogram the critical negative voice, so that is forever the gift of drawing geometry. I know what I did. Some ladies came to Sedona for a tour and they wanted to book a private sacred geometry session. And it was so fun. We did that. We drew the seed and the sunflower and the 12 points, and they were just tickled. It was so much fun to be in person again and, talk with everyone. All right. Okay. Couple of compasses still going. Of course, if you've made it, there's the practice that connects you deeper with yourself of looking at the seed and then seeing if you feel anything, seeing if you notice anything in your body, and you may not, but it's one avenue of connection, All right, a couple more compasses going. Lovely. And this is a shape where we're going to be using colored pencils. So if you'd like to, go ahead and choose 1, 2, 3 different colors. Right. And let me see. Does anybody, I'm just sort of giving little things that we can all do as we come on board. Does anybody else need another minute for the seed? We're good. Okay. Looks like we've got it. And this is the thing where I've got, I can't see everybody in one block. So jump in with your voice if you need more time. Okay. All right. Looks like we're good. Excellent. Everybody's got their seed. Okay. Now we've got the circles. And one of the beautiful things of Metatron's cube is it's a balance between the masculine and the feminine, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to bring the ruler in. And now we're going to make a total of a 9-inch line. This length is going to be 9 inches. And you're going to match up the 4.5 mark. You're going to match up the center mark of that 9 inches with the center of the seed. And you're going to use the petals, right? Use the inside petals as the guide for where the lines go. All right. So straight on the vertical, cutting the petals in half, 9-inch line, and 4.5-inch mark is going to be the center point. And then same thing on the left axis and the right axis, using the petals as the guide. Sometimes you can be tempted to go in between the petals. That's a cool shape too, but it's not the one we're doing. So really try to pay attention to using the petals, cutting the petals in half, and then lining up those 9 inches at the center point of 4.5 with the center of the seed. And it's fun to take a minute for precision. The likelihood of us being precise is very low. We're just going for it. And we might get nice and sharp, but, again, awesome opportunity to let go. What was that? When I was a therapist, units back in the day. I think the AA, I think it was AA, I'm not sure, but they had a saying, let go and let God. And that's just, I mean, it doesn't have to be limited to AA, but that's a, you know, that's a good practice, whether you're drawing Metatron's cube or anything else. So we've got these 3 lines. And you'll see throughout the course that because when we've got a 6-sided shape, right, there's that hexagonal seed of life, then to cut it in half, you only have to cut 3 lines. And you'll see that again and again because we're going to do a bunch of shapes. Okay, everybody got their 3 lines? All right, nope. Okay, 1 more minute. You got it? Yep. Yep, 1 more minute. No problem. All right. And 9 inches, I kind of use 9 inches. It overshoots the mark a little bit because somehow the shapes are always different. So at the end, we'll probably erase some of the bits. So we're not talking about perfection here, but 9 inches is what we're starting with. All right. Looks good. Let me find a couple of you. Wait, where's everybody? Oh, okay, great. There's everybody. Okay. All right. Looking good. Okay. Let's see. And then there we go. 1 more. Okay. Got it, Nancy? Got all 3? Okay, cool. All right. So, okay. What are we doing now? Now, compass, back to the compass. Compass stays the exact same width. Nothing is going to change in that regard. You're going to put your pencil, you're going to put your compass down at the intersection of the circle, the outer part of the circle, and the line, right? So compass goes at that intersection, and that's going to give you this circle. All right. Yeah. Great. And then once you've got that, right, we're going to do it 5 more times on every intersection, right? So you're going to repeat that pattern. You're going to use the intersection here, right? Every single intersection of the circle and the line, all 5 times, right? Now, your circles may touch perfectly. They may overlap. They may have a little distance. It's just what's going to happen on your first one. If you want to try to have the circles, if you want to prioritize the circles touching, you can play with that a little bit. But it's just like the seed in that the geometry is showing us every step, right? We don't have to know a square root of this line or, you know, add some sort of complicated equation. It's just going to show us with the intersection every time. So 6 total. We've got 1 in the center, 6 around the circle, and then we're going to create 1 more ring of circles. And that's going to give us the 13. In this shape, the seed actually doesn't count as the circles. It's simply given us the foundation for the shape. I like to do all the shapes from the seed so that you see how fundamental it is to everything. Right? Okay. Still have some heads down. We have 1 or 2 more circles to make. I don't want to rush anybody. Let's see, a couple more compasses going. Okay, up one. Right. And again, if you've gotten there, all right, 1 thumbs up. I want to see a couple more thumbs up here. I'm waiting. Don't want to rush, take your time. If you've gotten there again, you know, opportunity to take a breath, opportunity to drop in, you know, deepen the experience, right? It's that combo between the left brain, all of the strategies and the techniques here, and then allowing that right brain, right? That creative expression that you can tune into with the breath right? Bringing them both online, bringing that harmony of male and female, bringing that harmony of right and left brain. I mean, the symmetry going on here is, you get it, like from the slideshow, all of the geometry, all of the balance proportions. I'm highly addicted to Metatron's cube, apparently. Big fan. All right. So let's see, we've got a couple more compasses still going. I don't want to rush anybody. Take one more minute. All right. Yeah. Got most of it. Carol, how's it going? Is it working out? But you're muted, but I can't see you, but it looks like you're smiling. So I think things are okay. Should we take another minute? What do you need? One more. Okay. Yeah, go for it. Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Why do we end up with the little triangles, and then like sometimes in this set the circles just touch, and then in one spot they like overlap, and then there's a little gap? Is it the way that you rotating the paper, or the angle of the compass? What makes that difference?
It is the same answer every time. It's that it's your first one. It's the lines being a little bit asymmetrical and off, and all it just takes practice, and it takes slowing down for precision to make sure that you're on point from the beginning. Otherwise, you get the triangle spaces and the circles kind of overlap, but you can practice. And then when you fine tune it down to details, you will lose some of those inconsistencies. But that's
so is it like the making sure you get the sharp point right in the right spot, or is it the angle that you're holding? Because when you spin the paper, you're kind of like, you've got your compass kind of like angled down just a little bit as it's spinning. So is it more where you're putting the point in, or is it more where how you're holding the compass in relation to paper?
Yeah, let me show you something. So here on this one, you can see, look, I got a nice gap down there. It's really what's common, but one thing that I recommend, starting from the very beginning, is you're drawing your circle up here, right? And then the tendency is to go, okay, I'm just gonna put the compass here. Draw your circle, change your grip, get precise, go back to the circle. It makes such a big difference than just like the eyeball, put it down on a point. You're much more likely to get precision when you take that moment and switch up your grip and get right on the intersection.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
But it really is just because it's your first one and your second one, and it just takes practice, and the imprecision is more common than not. That's a great question. Thanks, Terry. Okay, looks like most of us, everybody got that round. Spectacular. We'll go back in. Now we're gonna do another round, right? But it's a little bit different. So before we put the compass down on the intersection, right? Circle, compass, circle and line, compass. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch it up. Right up here, we've now got this outer ring of circles, right, that intersects with the line. We're going to put the compass down at that pencil down at that intersection. And then the compass is going to fall right on it, on the line above it, right? And then that's going to give you that standalone circle, just like that, right? So that 9-inch line is going to come likely right around the center. The compass will either fall right on it, or it'll be a little short or a little long. So go ahead and put that pencil point at the intersection. And then the compass point on the line gives you that solo circle, right? And then we're going to do that 5 more times. So that's going to create that outer ring of solo circles. Oh my God, it's so light, so late now. Love it. I mean, isn't it just so cool how, once you know the next step, you don't have to do any math. You don't have to, the thing about the dodecahedron the reason why it was so top secret, that was like mystery school, what's the word I want to look up? Mystery school domain, right? Is because you have to add 13 lines. You have to know where those lines go. You can't just figure this out from the geometry. And so that information about ether and energy and prana, it was kept, right? It was kept because it was so powerful. So now we have, like, if you take the seed out, we have 13 circles. And I'm going to show you a way to do it without the seed as well. And it looks very different. It also feels very different. Great. All right. Got some heads up. Let me see, going around. No rush. All right. Some thumbs. Excellent. How's Christine, how's granddad doing? Is it working out? Is he here? Yeah, it looks like it'd be fun. It looks like it would have a lovely feeling to it.
It does. It has some weight.
Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore, do they?
Yeah.
No, that's old school. Probably find something like that in the garage sale. That would be worth looking for. All right, we still have some pencils down, some compasses going. No rush. Taking a nice deep breath. Oh my goodness. All right. Dana, how's your headache? Is it getting any better? Can't hear you though. It's always a setup.
Sorry about that. I didn't want to accidentally make noise in the class, so I muted it. I forgot about it while I was doing this. So it's feeling pretty good. I had to quickly try to eat a healthy salad at the very beginning of the class. Sorry if I was annoying anybody, but had to squeeze that in there. Maybe that helped a little bit. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, good. Okay. Hope for some alleviation here. We can imprint that into the geometry. Physical relief, comfort.
Call for what?
Call for that. We can imprint that into the geometry, right? You can imprint the vibration of no headache, the vibration of
well. Okay. I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
part of the intention setting. Very powerful. Very powerful. Because then you imagine, you set an intention with the geometry, and then every time you look at it, you're going to remember that intention, so you can write it down. It's going to embody it. And then you're just building it bigger and bigger in your life. So.
Well, maybe it's a good thing for me to put on my bathroom mirror, since I get them almost very regularly. So,
yes, whatever it takes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, that's unpleasant. Yeah. Migraine. Well, I'm sure you've tried quite a few things, but yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad you have a reprieve for a moment. Let's see. Let me come out. Is everybody good? Thumbs up. We all got the 13 circles. Great. Okay, now. Did I freeze? No. Did everybody freeze? Okay. So Carol, you good? You're looking like you're still looking. You good? Okay. So first color. We're choosing first color of those colored pencils. And we're gonna start off with the cube, right? Oh, wait. Well, yeah, let's just fine tune here. So with whatever first color you've chosen, go ahead and darken in the center points of those 2 rings of circles that we just made, right? You can see them done here. And then so inner ring of circles and then outer ring of circles. And if you have any bits of line that extend past the center point, go ahead and erase those, right? So we're just sharpening up the center points of all of the lines. We're erasing the lines up to the center point on the outer ring, and then we're sharpening in, darkening in the center point, so they're easier to find, because those are the points we're going to be working with now as we shift to the ruler, right? So we're done with the compass now.
I think I have a problem.
Okay, what's happening?
I might have to start over. If so, I don't want you guys to wait. I didn't do it right.
Okay, hang on, let me come out. Wait, hang on, let me spotlight you. Let me just be able to see. Oh man, hang on, what's happening?
Yeah, I
Okay,
didn't do it right.
we'll pull back a little bit. I think you did. Why are you thinking you didn't do it right?
I don't
Oh, you
want
did
this
in
to-
between. I see. Okay, hold it up again. I think we can keep going. Hang on. Okay, so the what you did is you went between the inside petals versus cutting the petals in half.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's okay. So let me see if we can figure it out. There's always a way. So hold it back up again, please.
I can start over. I'll just watch and I can do it with the replay, on the recording. I don't want to hold you up.
Okay, hang on a second. I don't think you have to worry here. I think we can just go ahead. So, yeah, go ahead and darken in those center points, just like we're doing. You'll
Okay.
be just fine as far as I can tell. And then if you're not, then we'll have to stop. But let's keep going. I'm pretty sure you can still get the shape.
Okay, I'll do it again later. Okay. I'll
Okay,
do
yeah,
it.
let's go as far as we can. And
Okay.
I can't think it through as to an obstacle we might hit, but just keep
Okay.
going. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Other than that, everybody, we got our dots are centered. Okay. Erase little bits. No. Terry, what do you need? You're shaking your head. Put it back up. She says, here you go. All right. How about that?
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay, let me see where this is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was that inner set of circles I don't have. Okay, hang on.
Mm-hmm. Inner set of circles?
Yeah, the shape is correct. I just didn't see that where the second dots went.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. That was a huge exclamation. Okay, great. You got that?
I'm
All
with
right.
you.
Sawa. Okay. Sawa, what happened for you? What did you see there? You on point? You got it? Okay. All right. Was it just a big realization or what happened? Okay.
I put the dot, the color in the different, wrong intersection.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We want it in the center of the two rings of circles that we just made.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. You got it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. Wonderful.
Mm.
How about, we ready to go? Got the dots centered now? Okay, Carol, that was less than strong.
Well, I got a little excited about using the colored pencils and I used them early. So they're
Okay.
already different colors. And I added 2 circles in the wrong place that I can't erase because the colored pencils are difficult to erase. So
Okay.
anyway, I'll redo it too. It's okay.
Awesome. Okay. So we get the basic idea and then the inspiration is to go back and keep playing, right? Okay. Everybody else, we good? We ready for to get into the cube? Okay. So first color or not, whichever way. All right, here we go. So first color, we're going to go ahead and make the octagon, right? So we're connecting every outer point with every outer point, right? We're just making a big 6, I said octagon, I meant heptagon, forgive me, 6-sided shape, right? Point to point around the outer boundary. All right. And we're going to keep the same color until I hopefully remember to tell you when we move into tetrahedrons.
Oh,
So,
is that supposed to be, that's a color?
Yep, I chose green, first color. You want to
okay.
go ahead and, yep. Mm-hmm. We were going to use 3 different colors for the 3 different shapes. And the octahedron emerges in a way it creates itself. So we're not going to use a color for that. Okay, so we've got the outer hexagon. All right, and these are going to stay up. So as I'm moving to the next slide, you're not going to miss one. And we're going to have everybody get to the point of the hexagon before we move into the tetrahedron. The next stage, once you've got this outer boundary, right, is to connect. There's an inner hexagon too, right? Here's the outer one. And then the inner one is going to parallel that. And you're connecting the center points of those inner circles that we made. So same color. And we've got this beautiful metaphor. Like, first of all, we're connecting all the dots, right? We're bringing it all together. We're bringing all of the different aspects of Metatrons together. Remember, this is a 3D shape. Right now we see 2D hexagons. We're going to do one step in a minute that's going to make the hexagons pop. Or sorry, the cube pop. But we've got this lovely metaphor of as above, so below, right? As the universe, so the soul. We've got this outer and this inner relationship, and we'll see it with the tetrahedron as well. So we've got these two hexagons, the outer boundary connecting all the outer points, the inner hexagon connecting the inner points we just drew. Right, okay. Yeah. Okay. Once you've got that, using the same color, go ahead and darken in those 3 central bisecting lines. It's going to look like this. So with that same color, darken in the 3 central lines. And then once you've done that, just take a look and see if you can see the cube. See if you can see the inner cube, get some of the dimensionality going, because now we just popped it into a 3D space. Sometimes it takes your eyes a little bit to adjust, right? We are creating new neural pathways. This is all about new brainwaves, new ways of seeing, new levels of consciousness. And we draw it, and it's so innocent how these shifts can happen and these openings can happen. Right?
Naughty.
Yeah.
So do we make the color of the inner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Do we make that one color, and then is the outside one the same color, or I forget?
I use the same color for these 3 steps because I think it pops the cube. And you can have a ton of fun and do it any which way. I only do this as we're drawing so that you see the single shapes at a time, but you can do anything you want. Yeah.
Is there 2 cubes in there? A small one and a big one?
Yes, there is. Definitely. Do you see them?
Nice. Yeah, they pop right out.
So cool, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, Nancy's just having a great time too. All right. Awesome, Terry. Yeah, thanks for clarifying, because we're starting with this cube, and then when we get down to I don't know, class number 6 or 7, we're going to play with the tesseract, which is also 2 cubes, very, very similar to Metatron's cube. So we're starting here to open our perceptual field up, right? We've just drawn 15 lines that have given us 2 cubes. Super cool. All right.
So let me ask again, should all the lines that I see dark is green on yours, should they all be the same color on our paper?
Well, isn't should a tricky word? If you want to mirror what I'm doing, yes. They don't have to be at all. I mean, this is an invitation. If you want your blues and your reds and your greens and your oranges right up now, no problem. And you've got many opportunities to do this, and you'll get a copy of the PDF. So it's going to look this way another time. So it kind of hurts my soul to go, yes, it has to look like this, but whatever you want to do, more than welcome. It just makes the different shapes pop. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, cool. Nancy, so nice. All right, we good? Everybody got the hexagons? Ooh, Nancy, sharp in your red. Sweet. Yours is small. All right, great. So Here we go. Anybody need me to stop before we go into tetrahedrons? We good? Because I can only see a couple. I try to, okay, good. So here we go. Next color. We're going to do tetrahedrons, or, you know, whatever color you like. I have drawn tetrahedrons in the same color. And you're going to do, before we connected every dot on the outside, now you're going to connect every other dot, right? So you're going to stay going clockwise, starting at the top. You're going to come down to the bottom right. Nice triangle. I use the word tetrahedron because, you know, just to help us get in the mindset that this is a 3D shape, right? It's not flat. Drawing it flat, you know, if we were more in our multidimensional reality, we would just, like, you know, create one with our mind and have it float and rotate in front of us. So, but we're not there yet, but this is how we get there, slow and steady. Ah, nice deep breaths. Usually we hold our breath when we're drawing. Yeah. It ends up being more stressful when the goal is for it to be relaxed. So once you've got your upward facing triangle, now we're going to create that Merkaba. Same color pencil. You can see we've got these 3 empty points, the top 2 and then the bottom, and we're going to create another tetrahedron pointing downwards in those 3 open spots, right? Darlene, did you already do it? Professional.
I could go ahead. Isn't that wonderful?
You are. I mean, you've graduated from an 8-week course. You know what's going on. Spectacular. Yeah.
Third time through, you know, you can do this stuff.
Oh, it's great. Is this your third time doing the Metatrons? No, second time?
Second time, yeah, well, yeah. It's just, it's quite amazing. I could do it ahead.
Oh, I love it.
Except for the icosahedron. I'm going to wait for you for that.
Yeah, that's the last one that does. Yeah, it's a little counterintuitive. All right.
And then I'm practicing shifting my eyes between the shapes, which
nice.
When they're on top of each other is hard to do, but it's good practice.
Oh, nice. Absolute professional maneuvers, Darlene. I love it. Love it. Next level. Okay. Brilliant. All right. That just tickles me, Darlene. I think that just made my day. So, Darlene, I want to see the day when you quilt a Metatron's cube. I'm really looking forward to that. Something like that.
Well, actually, I've been thinking, do you know what sashiko embroidery is?
No.
It's geometric patterns. It's usually Japanese and it's done with white thread on indigo dyed.
Oh, wow.
But I got a piece. I think I'm gonna try to do some, at least the plutonics on it. Embroidered it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Please send me the image of that. That was so exciting. Okay. Did you get the inner tetrahedrons also? Did you go all the way ahead on that? All right. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So this is the next step. We're going to mirror that stage we just did, right? We did the outer large tetrahedrons. Now you're going to see inner ones, right? Here's a smaller inner upward facing triangle, right? We have the outer hexagon, the outer tetrahedrons, and then we go in one iteration to the smaller hexagon in the center, and we're going to have upward facing triangle and downward facing triangle, right? So same color as the tetrahedrons, although, you know, there's no police or no geometry police. Go for it how you will. I simply do them in the same color so that you can see the tetrahedrons nesting in each other. Yeah. And usually what happens is everybody's, you know, we're drawing these and then everybody's on some level, you know, no pressure, but the inspiration for the way you want to do it starts building. You know, like, oh, I want this one to be color. I want to draw, you know, we don't ever have the time to color in the class. So, but that's, you know, hopefully the inspiration to do something in between the weeks.
Naughty.
Yeah.
So does that mean that in the Merkaba energy field with the star tetrahedron, the upper one, the lower, the large one, does that mean that there is also a smaller star tetrahedron inside the larger star tetrahedron around us? Yes. I mean, because the Merkaba energy field, the tetrahedrons are, let me think back to what Viola said. The starhead tetrahedron in the Merkaba energy field is like the motor. Yeah, it's the motor, it's the engine inside. And so, I can see wow, it just popped. So that's interesting that there's a star tetrahedron inside the larger star tetrahedron, which is the size, which is just above our crown, just below the feet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh,
this
boy.
is the Michelangelo's man that has the, wow, that's incredible.
The Vitruvian Man. Yeah.
Yeah, the Vitruvian Man. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so looking at this. It's like, wow.
I scrolled ahead to the next step, which is we just did the upward facing triangle. And then in the center, there's the downward facing triangle. Too, what Terry's talking about. So I guess the way I would go with that, Terry, is in kind of like a fractal interpretation, right? Like where we exist at all scales, the tetrahedron can expand and contract at all scales. Because I don't know that we have one within us other, I would imagine there's a star tetrahedron around our heart, and just like there's an energy field and a vortex around everything. But our like traditional kind of Merkaba that we're sitting in, you could imagine that scales with us. It fractalizes. We could go infinitely small and infinitely large when we're energy. And that's kind of my best guess around it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Taking, I know everybody's drawing, but taking Viola Rose's class is, to me, just as essential as this one, because the things you learn in that class are just, and you activate your Merkaba energy field too, that, that's the ascension vehicle that, you're using, moving from third dimension to fourth and fifth and all around. So I don't know. This is incredible, but just the basic things that happen in Viola Rose's class, and the activations that you do that never reverse again, are really important too, to go with this.
It's a great partnership. She and I've been palling around for a long time. Yep.
It's incredible.
Good endorsement. I will continue to endorse her, and I will obviously as well, but we're both in the sort of activation from different angles, right? That's what we're doing, is we're just tuning each other, turning ourselves on, right? We're turning each other on with these activations. So
Naughty, what was the name again?
It is, so her name is Viola Rose, and I can put this in the email as well. I'll send it out. And it's the Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshop. And she teaches John Below Melchizedek's work. I will put it in an email so that you have it.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody got the 2 star tetrahedrons? All right, great. So third color, here we go. This is going to make the icosahedron, right? So we're going to start at the outer tip of each point, each of the 6 points, and you're going to come down and across to the inward tip. It'll match up with the inner star tetrahedron, right? And you're going to do that on both sides of the central line, just like you see right here. So we're going from the outer circle down across to the inner circle. And you do that twice. And then just like with all of the other circles, how we went all the way around, you're going to do that. Are you ready? We got that one? Okay. We're going to do that from every single point on the outside. So it's going to look like this, right? This is that last step. And it stays open-ended because it ends up closing itself, right? So from every single point on the outside coming across on the inside on both sides of the central block line. That would have been a while ago though, Darlene, that you drew the Metatrons. That's impressive. Coming right back to you. Love it. Yeah. Viola Rose is by far my most hardcore friend. She does everything 200%. And so her workshop is very rich, very full, and really wonderful. So I will put that information in to the email. Okay. Now at this point, your brain, you know, the hemispheres of your brain are probably pretty aligned. We've got all this symmetry. We started with the seed, then we added the circles, but now every single line is balanced. And so it might get a little tricky as you go around the circle to complete the lines. And that's because you are creating harmony in the hemispheres of your brain. And that feels a little weird because we are normally fragmented. We have a reality that has been designed to fragment us and our energy fields and our hemispheric alignment, right? So you might be feeling a little off, is the point. And I will leave this up, and then we can come out and we'll see everybody's, and then I'll show you a shortcut as to how to get into this without the seed of life. Now, tricky part is that the octahedron is in there, right? But only until you get to know it, because it's on a funky angle, right, on the inside. It's made by the star tetrahedron, but it's on a diagonal, and it's only once you get to know what the shape looks like that you can find it. But we don't actually have to draw it separately, which, you know, isn't that cool that it emerges on its own. So, all right. So looks like Carol's got, I'm just going around to see, looks like pencils are downish. A couple of us have finished. A couple of us are making exasperated faces. All right. We got this going all right. I'll give a couple more minutes. Telling Metatron stories. What happened? What was that activation about for me? I think that what happened was I did that Metatron's class with this woman who channels Metatron's consciousness, and it just the combination really blew me out. We just went deeper with it, you know, than we can go in the class. And I have worked with, you know, Egyptian metaphysics for a while, you know, Thoth and Isis and that whole line of mysticism. And then I've worked with Metatron all these years. And then it looks like everybody's, all right, I'm just gonna leave it up a little bit longer. And then I work with Arcturian consciousness and our off-planet extraterrestrial advanced civilizations. The Arcturians and I are they're a very big part of my team. And one of the things that they say is that not unique to Arcturians, but for most extraterrestrials, when they come visit us, we have no other way of understanding them other than to call them saints and deities and, you know, Jesus, archangels and everything. Everything we call these, you know, religious icons and beings and enlightened masters, those are actually extraterrestrials that we simply need a construct around in order to be palpable for us, for our little brains. So so I've always kept them separate. And then I taught that class with that woman, and in one fell swoop of a meditation, I just saw the entire lineage, because I've worked with all three of them separately, and it just all came together. And I was like, oh, no wonder I have been attracted to all three elements, so they're all related. The depths of this wormhole are profound. And so I just was saying that as everyone was finishing drawing. Anybody, can we do a little show and tell? How's it going? How are you feeling? You want to give a show and then tell us what you think and tell us how it's going? All right, Dana's jumping in first. Hang on, let me spotlight you. Woo, look at that. What do you think? Do you want to bring yourself off mute and tell us?
Oh,
You're
oh,
off
I'm
mute.
muted.
Okay. There you go.
Well, I'm surprised it's working out. I can see how I need to keep doing it to practice to get all the circles are not exactly where they should be. And so then it changes all your points.
Right.
So it feels a little bit wonky,
Yeah.
but I'm getting it, and I'm, and I'll do it again tomorrow or the next day. And
Can you hold it up again?
Oh, sure.
Because I forgot you went in through the other door. Oh man,
other
see
door?
how you can still get
Beautiful.
it? Isn't that cool? Yeah.
It's still there, and
It's still there.
I like I'm noticing, I don't know what colors that you used. I have some of these Staedtler colored pencils, but it is not coming out as bold, and I like the color part of it too. What is the, I know you put it in the link, but could you tell me which ones are on what I'm seeing there?
You mean which pencils?
Yeah, brand of
Oh,
pencil.
I think those are Prismacolors.
Okay.
I mean, they could be Crayolas too. It's all in the mix. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little bit low tech on that regard.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm loving it. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Dana. Who would like to go? All right, Nancy's jumping in. Okay, now just do me a favor, hold your pieces up for a minute, because then we can study them. Woo, look at that. All right, Nancy, what do you think? How was it?
Well, it's not perfect, but it's fun. It was fun. And it was amazing to see the cube. All of a sudden the cubes came, then, the next one. It's amazing how
Perfect. Thank you.
you can find them. Yeah, I really feel like that's the brain pathways. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love how bold and strong your colors are. You're like, really, they're just definitive. I love it. Yeah.
Well, that's the Prismacolors.
Oh, the Prismacolors. Yep. Nice. All right.
Yeah.
So you feel good about it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel good about it, and I'm sure I'll do it again and again. Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Wonderful. And you'll just be activating your Merkaba and your light body and all of the elements within yourself. And then there's no stopping you. Awesome. Smiling. That's great.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Who is going to jump in next? Looks like Terry's got her paper up. Let me spotlight you. All right. Ooh. And you can pull it back just a little bit. Yeah. Look at that. How do you feel? Oh, you're muted, so we can't hear you. You want to unmute? Tell us about your process.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, what I keep wondering is, as we open our mind and align the spots in our mind, how does this impact our daily life? What do we see happening? Now, once I get to this point, I have a hard time seeing the cubes. I see the star tetrahedrons and some of those, and it's like, okay, where's the cube? So, but
yep, they do disappear a little bit. The cube kind of falls into the background structure. Yeah.
So when we have our mind aligned with this and the pathways opened up, how does that change our everyday reality? What do you find that it does?
That's an exceptional question. We need a whole other class for it. That is unique to each of us, right? And so that's part of why I encourage during the week to either draw or begin to read or bring it around you, because that's the first step, is you see it around you more. And then the second, the influences are subtle, but powerful, but absolutely unique. So I can answer for myself, which is tricky. And that's why I sort of share my progression at the beginning of the class, right? Like I, first of all, just was drawing it. And then like on a really physical 3D level, my friends would look at it and they're going, oh my God, you should, like, everybody wants to see that. And so it ended up on an art show, right? And then everybody wanted to learn about, so I ended up teaching. That's just a really basic, like, here people saw it and people wanted to see it and blah, blah, blah. That's one progression. For me, you know, energetically, I mean, gosh, it's ultimately the reason I'm here in Sedona, and ultimately the reason that all I talk about is extraterrestrials and sacred geometry and crop circles. So it's an evolutionary process, right? It could be your cells restructuring so that your diet changes, you know, and it's reflected in the foods and your energy field and the people around you. I mean, it can just be everything. It can affect everything, right? Because it's touching your entire system. So it could look like anything.
See, that's what I mean. I know that, you know, drawing the geometry is, you know, is great. But the reason I wanted to do it is because I know that somehow it's going to have an impact in the way I live my life, because it's like in the studies, you know, it's I don't want to take too long, but we tend to start living our lives, making goals, planning actions, you know, all these regular way that we live in the world of business, because I'm in business. And then as you read and study, you hear, like in the holographic universe, the 5-part series and the Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment, those two together are pretty profound. But it talks about then shifting out of being like in the regular business mindset, where you're allowing, you know, the spirit behind the scene to orchestrate it. And so you're actually you're not planning. I mean, that is such an unusual, because like I'm a AAA personality. So it's very unusual, not get up, plan the day, know what you're going to do 6 months from now, a year from now, you know, all those things that we normally do. Because when you hear that and you're just doing kind of basically reacting instead of planning, it's such a different kind of way to live. And that's what I was hoping we might learn a little, how to segue from doing that, control and command the regular way that we usually are taught to live on this earth, into more of that cooperating with whatever's going on around us, and having faith to do that. And I was hoping that the sacred geometry would help me in that transition. So, you know, that's just a comment of what I'm looking for in doing these pieces. Is that a part of this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is whatever you want it to be, right? There's the ultimate answer. But for me, how I hear your, you know, productivity, doing, action, you know, AAA personality, the geometry, you feel like you're doing because you're drawing, and then the metaphysics are transforming and activating the different aspects of your consciousness that want to come online but haven't been able to because of all the doing.
Exactly. Okay, so I went back into my watercolor thing and went and pulled my watercolor. It's a bigger one. It's bigger than the 14, but I thought, you know, when we get done with these, I'd really like to watercolor on them. So I actually have done them in my watercolor tablet. So it's got the right paper to then go from there. So
brilliant. I can't wait to see those. Brilliant. Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Awesome questions, because the changes can be subtle, but the more attention you bring to them, the more profound the transformation. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. We'll keep talking about that. All right. Yeah. Carol. Cool.
Well, okay. So here's all my multicolored.
Oh, look at that bright alive thing. Woo.
It's kind of reminded me of the cats in the cradle. You know how you used to play that thing with a yarn, and it looks really kind of mangled, but it's
okay. Wait, yeah. Let me put you back up. Sorry, I dropped it. It's a mangled. It looks mangled.
No, not mangled, but just the way when you used to play. What's that yarn game that we used to play when we were kids, where we would crisscross everything? That's what it makes me think of, but everything intersects in a really unusual way. So just to add what you were just saying, for me, what it seems to be bringing about just having met you was a synchronicity, because I had just gotten, when I saw you at dance that night, I had just been in Ireland, and one of the first places, I did a tour of all the sacred sites. the first place we stayed at was in Glendalough. And
Huh.
in the room that I was staying, I kept hearing Buckminster Fuller. And I'm like, what the heck? What does that mean? You know, was he in this room? Because I'm becoming clairaudient. And so I'm so glad you said that, because now I can look it up. I knew he was an architect, but that's all I knew. So this is fascinating. And on this week, I've been hearing the word dodecahedron.
Yeah.
Now it's here. And I think last time I was hearing gematria. So I got to put it all together. But yeah, this is, just coincidences or not coincidences, you know, synchronicities. So it's really amazing. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. Synchronicities, AKA breadcrumbs, right?
Yep, exactly. I'm so glad that I met you and I'm taking this class now. Really exciting.
Me too. I love how sharp the geometry is there. And I do not normally mention Buckminster Fuller. So that was really fun because the buckyball and the geometry of the geodesic dome, I mean, he was really one of the grandfathers of like calling geometry, you know, the vector equilibrium. He named that. He's fundamental to our understanding of quantum physics and the geometry of space-time.
I had no idea. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Carol.
A quick question. Where do we read about the crop circles? Where's the news about the crop circles so we can kind of watch what's happening?
Yes. I will put in the chat the website to go check it out. Although, you know, I will do a shameless plug that my class is going to start on the 21st, and it's 8 weeks of studying crop circles. And because it's during crop circle season, we're going to incorporate all of the new crop circles that are happening. And I am so excited for that class. So reach out to me if you're interested in that, if you need anything that I could help you get there. It's really a lot of fun. So yeah, they've already started. There's been 3 already. Okay, but that's a different class. We got to stay on Metatron's cube here. All right, who else do we need? We need a few more. All right, yep, there you go, Gina. Thanks. Much more effective thing to do is to put a link in.
I have mine.
All right, Darlene's jumping in. Let's see.
I need to.
Yes. Oh yes, look at that. Can you pull it back just a little bit, Darlene? Yeah, okay, now don't go anywhere. Just stay there for a minute. And then can you pivot it towards the camera? Like, no, on the vertical. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. What do you think? How'd it go?
I still need to pull them apart. It's too much for me altogether. So I'm going to do separate circle seasons with each design. Yeah.
Yeah.
This layering on is too confusing for me.
It's a lot to take in. It's true. Let me see something really quick because, hang on a second.
I mean, I love seeing that it all fits together. That's quite an amazing thing.
Yeah. It does all, gosh, I have them separated.
You do. I've downloaded that. I have it.
Okay, you've seen that. Okay, I just wanted to bring it up now, but I can't. All right. Well, yeah, it's fun to do them separate, like where you just do a Metatrons, and then I will show us really quickly the shortcut. God, I'm so yellow. What on earth is happening? I will show you the shortcut, and then I will send you the PDF as well, so you don't have to go all the way through the seed every time. And then it's easier to find the separate ones. Yeah. It looks beautiful, Darlene. I love it. I love that you went ahead. That's just right. I love that. All right. Who else we got? We got Sawa and Gina and Christine. Yeah. Who's going next? All right. Sawa's jumping in.
Okay. This is going to be real quick because I made a mistake, but I didn't want to stop it. So I think I realized I had a wrong size outer circle.
Okay.
Because I think the 9-inch, I made it as a center point, I think.
Okay.
So while everybody was doing, I quickly did the second one, but this is how much I got.
Wow,
So
beautiful.
it's gonna be my I'll do the whole homework, the rest.
Okay.
So
All right. Wow. That's exciting. Well, I was gonna try to be a little snarky and say now we know you live in West Virginia and I'll come find you or something like that, but I can't remember if you moved from West Virginia.
Virginia. I'm in
Okay.
Virginia.
Virginia.
Northern Virginia. Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. You did two in the space of the class. So they both look beautiful to me. How does it feel? You like them? It's feeling?
Yes, very, very nice. Thank you.
Great. All right. Now just Sawa, if they start coming out 3D, you just, take a nice deep
Communicate.
breath. Yep.
Okay.
Meditate with them. It's beautiful.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. All right, Christine and Gina, how's it going? Rock, paper, scissors on this. I'm not looking at each other.
I guess I can go.
Okay, Gina's popping in. All right, hang on, let me
Oh.
spotlight you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
So I went a little over right here, but I could fix that. But I actually felt like it came out really good.
Okay.
It was really fun. And you can tell my yellow, it's an actual highlighter that's meant to be used with gel, and it's almost like a crayon. So it didn't, it actually in a way worked, but in a way it didn't. But it kind of like sometimes when it overlapped, it would want to smear. And but I still think that overall I would use different tools to do it again, is all I'm really saying. But I like the result.
Okay.
I feel
I
good about
love it. It looks like it's like lit from within. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it gives it a different thing.
Yeah. And in case I don't see you for a while, since you're not part of the ongoing, here, can I invite you? Can I make an invitation?
Yeah.
Okay. The next time you're sharing your art, because you're an artist and you should keep sharing your art. I don't mean to shit on you, but next time you're sharing your art, push yourself to share what you like best about it.
Yeah.
Not what the mistake. Because I don't think anybody would have even noticed, right? It's almost like we point it out, but it's
and what's
beautiful.
Funny is that wasn't what I was thinking about it, but I felt like there's a pattern that came up in showing it to somebody else. That's interesting. That's something to think about.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So many layers in here, and it's just beautiful. And I'm so glad to see you again for this class. And now you've got Metatrons. Lovely. All right. Thank you. And then Christine, we're going to wrap us up here.
Okay.
All right. How'd it go?
It went okay. I don't have, good tools or paper or anything, but there it is.
Can you hold it up a little higher? Yeah. Oh, pretty.
What I noticed about I like the process more than the end result. And what I noticed was I liked it a lot more, or it resonated with me a lot more before we added the final lines.
Oh, okay.
Feels like when I look at it, it feels, I think someone else said the same thing, kind of messy.
A lot in there. Yeah. The stopping point before the last lines, the last tight lines, that's a really fun place to stop and just draw. There's so many accessible shapes, but I like to give you the whole thing, and then we'll do it again, and we'll get the dodecahedron, right? You cannot do the dodecahedron when you first learn this thing, because it's just like, it doesn't work so well. But let me show you very quickly the shortcut so that you have that. And like I said, I will include it. It's really like 3 slides. I will include it in the email that I send you with the video. So then it is Metatron's shortcut down here. And you just start out with a single circle, right? And then you choose, much like we do with the seed, you go down to the bottom vertical point, right? And then you draw a half circle, okay? And you're drawing it to get these intersection points, right? We're just going for these intersection points. And then these 2 points give us what we need to make a vertical line, right? So we've got vertical line, half arc, and then now you've got this intersection up here, and that's where the compass goes, right? You're going to make another half arc, right? And we're doing this to get these 6 points. That's all we want are the intersections. Like when you get to be a pro, you can just make a little X marks the spot, right? But right now we've got these 6 lines or those 6 points, and then those give us those 3 long 9-inch lines, right? So we've just kind of cheated. We didn't have to do the seed. We get the same coordinates, and then it's the exact same step as before. Well, sort of the pencil on the compass point or pencil on the intersection again, and then compass point goes on the line, right? That gives you this drawing, and then you do it, 5 more times and you get that first round of circles that we did. And then that last step, same as before, you remember from pencil point goes on the intersection, same thing, compass goes on the line, you get that single line, and then you do it all the way around and you get this foundation without the seed. So so there you can see, Christine, it's a little bit cleaner without the seed, right? And then you can do the cube, right? You can see everything a little bit easier. Cube, and then star tetrahedron on top of this. This is a really nice place to stop and draw. The patterns are just a little bit more clear, but then you add the icosahedron, and that's the last piece of your Metatron's cube. So I want to encourage everyone, take a picture of it, send it to everybody and tell them you drew it. I mean, it is so cool. And it also looks really different on your phone. I don't know why, but it's just a totally different experience. You guys are amazing. Any last thoughts before we finish up? Look at what you just did. You started out this class, did you even think you could do that? It's amazing, right? Step by step, and anything's doable, right? Absolutely awesome. So yeah, thank you so much. And I will see you next week. And for those of you who jumped on from last course, it was so lovely to see you, and blessings on your drawings. And Crop Circle Connector, you got the link in the chat. You can get on their list and then you get notified every time there's a Crop Circle. But do contemplate and consider coming to the Crop Circle class, because it's just ridiculous fun. We draw them, we meditate, we get all multidimensional. It's just what we do here, only next level. So.
And
When
this
does your
Saturday, your class is Saturday?
The class,
Sunday.
no, you mean the Crop Circle class?
No, it's the Rose, whatever that's called.
No, which one?
The one behind you.
Oh, the Sri Yantra.
Yeah, the
Sri
11th.
Yantra. Yes, that is on the 11th. That is the workshop that's on the 11th.
Okay, that's
if you go to my website.
yes, Sunday. Yes.
Yeah, if you go to my website, I didn't mean to do that. You can find it to register. Sorry, I'm not a promoter. I don't do very well at this. So
Okay.
if I put the Eventbrite link in the chat, that's also how to get there. But if you go to my website, there's a direct link to the Sri Yantra.
Okay. And the cost is there, and the time and everything.
Everything. Yeah, it is next. It is this coming Sunday, the 11th. And it's it's about 4 hours, because we go all in and we meditate, and it's just, I have 30 of those in my house. If you think I'm nutty about the sacred geometry and the crop circles, this Sri Yantra, so powerful.
Oh, wow.
And so you've got.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you all so much. I look forward to seeing you next week. And my other beloveds, I will see you at another class. Oops, there I go.
Oh. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.